Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today we're going to pick up something quite interesting. What I've agreed to buy is a 2008 Audi A3 Sportback 2-litre TDI. They're quite good cars, these. I do rate them. Anyway, this one's cheap. I've paid just £750 for it. What could possibly go wrong? I don't know an awful lot about this, I've just had a description over the phone, but I do know a few things. It's done 125,000 miles, it's silver with a black interior, it's the 5-door Sportback model, and what else? Oh, it's an S-line, so it looks a bit sportier. My colleague told me though that it needs a bit of bodywork. There are a few scratches, vandal scratches and things like that, so we'll see. I'm not really sure for £750, you know, with 125,000 miles on the clock, whether it's worth repairing or not. This might just be a case of getting it through a clean MOT and service, and then move it on with a little dribble of profit in it for me. That might be the best thing going forward. I mean, it's a 16-year-old car this now, isn't it? It's mad, isn't it, to think that a 2008 car is now 16. My mate had one of these many years ago. He bought it when it was about, come on, they're on green. Go, let's go. Dithering. My mate had one of these when it was about 3 years old. His was a 2007 and he bought it in 2010. And it was a really nice car. His was silver with a black leather interior as well, and S-line and Sportback. Sorry, I was just thinking then, this might actually be his old car. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? But no, his was definitely an 07. This is an 08. Anyway, I'm talking nonsense now, but we're nearly there, so we shall soon be put out of our misery. Somewhere in this little well down here is the key for it. I'll find it when I'm not driving. I'll see you there. Well, we're here. I mean, it was 750 quid, so I can't complain, but it's got horrible black wheels. I'm gonna have to change those, I think. It's got those vape vent things, those wind deflectors. I could transform that quite, I mean, I know I'm still sort of 50 yards away from it, but I could transform that quite easily, I think. There's a little bit of paint peeling on the driver's door trim. Let me go and open this barrier then, because once again, I forgot my remote control. Found the key, look at that. The old flip key. Only one of, sadly, but there we are. Does my central locking work? You ready? Oh yeah. My voice is still breaking. Getting over a cold, it's not because I'm going through puberty. Well, that looks all right. It's got its front fogs. I think they were probably standard though, thinking about it. Does need the wheels doing, because they look rotten, to be honest, don't they? I don't get black wheels on a silver car, it does not look good at all. Oh, someone's put a black spoiler on the back, that's not very nice, not very tasteful. The reg is OY, so we've got an Oxfordshire plate. Lots of bird muck on the front. Yeah. What's mad is that not that long ago, that was a really desirable car. They were great news in the day. Now, of course, it's a little bit too old for me to retail, isn't it, that? But, should we go and have a look around it then? What I'm going to do today is plug my little Carly reader into it, see if there are any hidden faults. Right, let's go and have a look then. The weather's nice today at least. Well, there she is. I mean, apart from the paint peeling on the driver's door trim and a little bit of corrosion around the rear wheel arch, doesn't look too bad. I've seen worse. I mean, we've all seen worse on this channel, haven't we? We've got a Nexon on the back on about 4mm of tread, that's not too bad. I can touch in those marks. Got a tow bar she's been pulling. Rear sensors, that was quite a good option. Those rear lamps would come back with a buff. They're all a bit flat, but they would buff back. That's not too bad. That spoiler's offensive. That's hideous, isn't it? Hideous. Could paint that silver though. Paint that silver, repaint that door trim silver. This is the vandal scratch that we're talking about, and that's deep. It's a deep scratch there. But on this kind of thing, it doesn't really matter, does it? This front Nexon does look a bit bald, and we've got a chunk out the sidewall. Yeah, that's on its legal limit, that. And it's a front wheel drive car, this, so there'll be no grip there whatsoever. We've got a bit of crackage there, bit of a crack in the screen. Up front we're all right. Bird muck, but no damage. What's this one like? Is this one just as bad? Yes, that's on the limit. Look at the chunk of that one. Bloody hell. Someone's had a fight with the curb there. So we need 2 front tyres straight away, refurb the wheels because they're offensive, paint the spoiler, remove all these vape vents and just try and make it look a bit normal. This is a nice little project for me. Some marks down the back bumper, but I could get those out myself with a bit of thinners. Bit of cutting compound. The back tyre is a Nexon as well. We've got a matching. It's not all bad then, is it? The rear tyres are okay. Let's open her up then. Well, it's never had a clean because it's filthy, but we've got a nice leather interior that's not all ripped or worn, so that's good. The lads at the car wash will sort this out for me. Quick mini valet and we're halfway there. Got some broken vents here. That's annoying, but you can have a look on eBay. It smells very much of VWs from this era. If you've owned one, you'll know exactly what I mean. It smells like a Passat. I don't like cars with tow bars, to be honest. Right, we've got that there. Don't know why that would be there. Bit of a strange feature. The clips are broken for my parcel shelf, but at least the shelf's there. Got a bag for life, not just for Christmas, and lots of dog hairs. Sadly, I think the dog was for life as well. Yeah, it needs a good clean, but that's not bad, you know. Now I think with these 140 brake horsepower, I think my pals was 170. They did a 170 as well. Not sure which this one is. Should have checked it out, shouldn't I, really? Yeah, I mean, it's gross. Let's not make any bones about that. It is gross, but with a clean, it's just been a kiddie car, hasn't it? Is that Buzz Lightyear? I don't know. Got a big chin. Like Jay Leno. Let's have a look up front then. So, yeah, just wants a good clean, I think. Excuse the sniffles. Ooh, right. We've got, has this ever been used? A few times, not too bad. We've got an auxiliary port there, that's good. And oh, we've got a spare key. Look at this. Someone's put it in a very Essex style sort of vajazzly key case. Look at that. But at least we've got 2, and it works. That's the result. Phone holder. The armrest still works, that isn't broken. Some more cup holders. Oh, hang on a minute, we've got a fortune cookie here. Let's see if this predicts my fate with this car. Can anyone translate Mandarin? I don't know. Hang on. Oh, there we go. An abundance in celery gets along with you in life. Right. Sounds like it's been written by Yoda, doesn't it, that? An abundance in celery gets along with you in life. That doesn't make any sense. That reminds me, actually, I was in a Chinese restaurant in Boston once with my brother. The one in Massachusetts, not the one in Lincolnshire or wherever it is. I think it was a P.F. Chang's. Anyway, that's irrelevant. And we opened the fortune cookies, and his said something like, "Your giving soul will soon be rewarded." I was like, "Andrew, I think you've got mine there, pal." Anyway, we laughed, but I think you might have had to be there. Should we fire this bugger up? Left main beam headlamp, right. Passenger airbag on. I think we're going to have some engine lights on this. The radio set to greatest hits. That's potent. I need to replace that with a high peak one, which incidentally are available at highpeakstore.co.uk. Available in various scents. There we go, got rid of it. I don't know my own strength, do I? What have they been listening to then? Let's have a look at a CD. Oh, we've got a CD. U2. I don't really like U2, to be fair. Credit card holder. It's quite good. A very dirty glove compartment, but the locking wheel nuts in there, that's good. Not a bad song actually, but the rest of U2 can go for me. We've got some suspicious white stains there, which I'm hoping is sort of milk or something. Don't know. Don't want to touch it really. It smells nice thanks to this, whatever it is. I don't know. It smells alright. It's no Dr. Varangi's, but it's alright. Let's fire her up, shall we? It has done 125,000 miles. It's very bright today, so you probably can't see that. 125 on the dial. Let's let my glow plugs cool off again, or warm up. Ah, fired straight up. we've got lots of bulbs out. Quarter tank of diesel. Can you see that now? I'll create a shade with my hand. There we go. Well, that's all right. I'd say the aircon isn't working, but then I haven't really given it long enough. What I'd like to do now then is plug in my little Carly reader and see if there are any faults. You'll have heard me talk about Carly before because I have mentioned them in several videos, and they're a long-time supporter of the channel, so do check them out. I'll leave the link for all the details in the video description. So basically, you get this little reader here, which you just plug into your OBD reader of the car. That's it. It's not very big. It's quite easy to use. So, the OBD 2 port should be down here somewhere. It's always near the pedal box usually. Oh, there it is. You see the little purple thing? Right. So you plug this in. Let me try and do this. Hang on a second. Bear with me. Is that in? Right, we've got lights. So that's a good sign, I think. Then you get the app on your phone and then follow the instructions. It really couldn't be simpler. So Audi A3, connect, allow it to use my Bluetooth, Carly universal scanner, plug in the OBD, turn on your vehicle's engine, make sure your Bluetooth's on. Right, let's do that then, shall we? Turn on the engine. My Bluetooth is on, or should be on. Connect. Allow while using the app. What's good is that if there's an engine light on or any sort of warning light, the Carly reader will diagnose it for you. But sometimes, well, all the time to be honest, cars have got hidden issues that don't necessarily throw on a light. So this will tell us all the faults. In addition to that, it'll tell us whether the mileage has ever been altered or, things like that. Things that you should check out before you hand over any cash for a car. So, diagnostics then, let's have a look. Check for issues. Okay, the car is being checked. This might take a couple of minutes. Perfect. 20% of the system's found and we've got one issue. Okay, right. 3 issues. Plenty of issues here, haven't we? You can also use this Carly app to customise your car, so you can unlock certain features of the car. Now, this might be a tad too old, this 2008 Audi, but we'll try. Because, for example, you can do things like turn off the alarm noise so that it doesn't beep when you lock it, or so that it does beep when you lock it, if that's what you want. Fold in the mirrors if it's got that feature. You can turn on all these features using the Carly app. Right, that's done that check, so we'll show results. Okay, so there's an issue with the CAN gateway. Combination of data, right, okay. We'll clear that then. And then we'll take it for a drive and see if it reappears. Close that. What else? There's an issue with the air conditioning. You don't need to tell me that. It's 20 odd degrees today and the air conditioning definitely isn't working. You don't need the Carly reader to tell you that, but it's found a fault with it anyway. So, fan for interior temp sensor. That's broken. And the high pressure sensor. Right. Check air conditioning. We'll check this. Show results. Clear air conditioning code. Here we go. Right. There's an issue with the engine. Data wiring faulty. So it shows you the mileage in kilometres, 201. And it's showing 125 on the dial, isn't it? So, yeah, that's fine. We'll just clear this fault code then for the engine. Show results. We'll clear that. We'll do this, we'll clear all the faults and then we'll take it for a drive and see if it drives okay. And then we'll see if the faults come back. There's a fault here with the steering wheel. See, I wouldn't have known any of this because there are no lights on the dash, only one for a bulb. Clear steering wheel faults. Very good. Tell you what, let's go back and let's see if we can code this. Coding, there we go. Unlocking hidden features. Continue. Check coding compatibility. This should then give us a list of the things we can alter and change and customise. If you'd like to try Carly out for yourself, click the link below in the video description to get 15% off. Or alternatively, use the code HighPeak24 at checkout. Right, so we've got several options here then. I'd say there's a slight misfire with this actually. Or maybe it's just diesel. It's just a bit... it's not missing, it's just a little bit... It's a bit lumpy, I think. Maybe that's the right word. It's a bit lumpy. It's revving alright though. So for example, you can turn on things like the auto unlock or turn it off. Activation message for the anti-theft. Lock message, so you make it beep when you lock it. That's that then. Then we can control things like the DRLs, the mirrors, the parking lights, all that sort of stuff. We can change the dashboard. Sometimes you can get the dials to do like a sweep, like a Porsche or something. Okay then, so you can turn on or off the seatbelt reminder. We'll turn that off, I think. Code now. Agreed. This will mean then now that if I don't wear my belt, which I don't urge you to do, I don't encourage you to do, by the way, I might just try it around this private car park, it shouldn't beep. There we go. Right. All I've got to do is turn the engine off and back on again. Press my clutch in. There we go. Job done. Right, well, should we take this out on the road then? Take it for a quick spin? See if it changes gear and pulls and all that sort of stuff? Let's do it. Right then. In fact, let's just take this around the car park and see if my seatbelt binger thing has stopped. So far, so good. The only thing I can hear is the whistle from my turbo. Oh, it's a bit loose over the bumps. She's a bit knocky. Wow, it's warm. Right. Nope, turn off U2. Don't need that, do we? What am I going to do with this car? I think first things first, I'm going to take it for a wash. Leave it for a mini valet. I might treat it to a gold valet, so they do the windows as well. That'll do. I'll send it for a mini valet, and then I think take it down to my mechanics, get them to check it over and see if there's any life left in it. If the turbo's all leaking and it's on its way out, then there's no point in continuing, because it wouldn't be worth it. I also need to check the history. Now, there isn't anything obvious. There's nothing in the glove compartment. I'll have to get my colleague to speak to the previous owner and see if there's any history for it. Oh, we got a broken window's got a mind of its own here. It pulls well. I mean, it does feel a little bit loose, like it's done 125,000 miles. She's a 6-speed though, that's good. They do drive well, these, you know. Just sort of a solid feeling to them. It reminds me very much of the Mark IV Golf, which is a bit of the diesel Mark IV Golf is a bit of a favourite of mine. Just really good workhorses. I ran around in a Mark IV Golf for ages, a diesel, and then I had a few borers, you know, like the Jettas. 1.9 TDI. This is the successor to that, really. I had one as just an errand car. Every time I needed to go and pick up a car or something, I just took a silver borer out. In fact, that would be quite good for this, wouldn't it? Every day I'm here, there and everywhere, and usually I use one of the courtesy cars, an Igo that we've got, or a couple of Picantos. But on the motorway, they're not great. They're only little 1-litre cars, whereas this would be a bit more comfortable, a bit more powerful, a bit torquier. I could do that, you know. Get it cleaned, take it to my mechanics. If there's any life left in it whatsoever, I could just get another year or two out of this as a company workhorse. I'm gonna have to sort that air conditioner out though, because I'm melting. I could tidy it up a little bit, do the wheels silver, because I don't want to be seen in something like this with black wheels, because it looks offensive to my eyes. Take off these little horrible wind deflectors. Yeah, I'd run around in this. It's quite comfortable. And it'll do about 50 miles per gallon. Sometimes I find myself using one of my own personal cars to run around and run errands and pick up cars, and I think that's just a bit of a waste. Doing 20 miles per gallon, I'm racking up a load of miles on my own car for work. It's not the way forward, really. Whereas this, I wouldn't really care about. That might be the most sensible idea I've ever had. We've got an auxiliary point, so that's handy. They listen to me tunes. I think the key to all this, before I get carried away, I think the key is let my mechanic check it over. If it's got a leaking turbo and oil leaks here, there and everywhere, then no, there's no point. But if I did the wheels silver, stuck 2 new tyres on the front, Nexans to match the backs, yeah, I could just use this, use and abuse it. Fix the aircon. Job done. Right, leave this with me then, because all of a sudden I've got quite excited. I love it when I've got an idea. I love it when I've got a reason to keep a car, even when it's a 16-year-old Audi A3. It just drives particularly well. Could leave a phone charger in it, couldn't I? My trade plates. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this, I think. Right, I'm going to take this down to the car wash first, and I'll get back to you very shortly, hopefully with some good news. Can't not be, can it? It smells nice and it drives all right. All the ingredients are there. And I think I could spin this round quite quickly and cheaply. I think if I spent 500 quid on this car and it owed me 12.50, I've got a cheap workhorse, haven't I, for the next, well, until it breaks. Year or two. Could leave it at the pub, don't really care about it. Yeah, I like the idea of this. Monster something. Right, well, I'll speak to you soon then. with an update.
And we're back in my cheap Audi A3, and I've decided I'm going to keep it. I'm going to use this as the new High Peak Auto's workhorse, the new runaround, the new car to do the tip running and go and pick up cars in, that sort of thing. I think it'll be ideal. I won't lie though, getting this car looking like this again has been quite a lengthy and quite a costly process. After we last spoke, I took the car down to my mechanics and I asked for a full engine service and 2 new Nexon tyres to match the rear. So that was done. Then from there I took it over to Prestige Wheels. Now if you remember, it had those hideous black wheels. I'm not a big fan of black wheels. Well, they have their place, don't they? But not on a silver car. It just never seems to look right. So I dropped it off at Prestige Wheels in Bredbury, who have done an excellent job once again. They stripped the wheels right back and then powder coated them in silver, and they look as good as new. The guys at Prestige Wheels always look after me, and I always recommend them to people. And you can see why, can't you? They spun this job around within about 48 hours, so thanks for that. From there then, it went to Jimmy the Magician. If you remember, the trim on the driver's door was flaking, so I had him paint that up and just touch in the scratch. That cost me 20 quid, but again, it just looks a bit tidier. Then I got it back to work. I took those horrible vape vents off, got rid of those, and I fitted some new reg plates, which I bought from Harrods. They were £15, and I think it's just lifted the whole car. It just looks a whole lot fresher. I also found some Volkswagen Reflex Silver, which I think is very similar to this, and I touched in any marks myself. So I think you'll agree, from afar, it looks alright. It looks quite tidy. I didn't want to run around in some sort of workhorse that looks a complete shed, and this now doesn't. I think it looks quite respectable, really. Yes, I know it's a 16-year-old car done 125,000 miles, but it drives really well. And it's just one of those cars that now I don't really care about. It'll do the job perfectly well, and then hopefully I'll get a couple of years out of it before something breaks. I then took it for a mini valet. I didn't bother having a full valet on it because, well, 1, because it's leather, and 2, I thought if I'm going to start using this as a tip run car, what's the point? It's just a waste of £70. So instead I just spent £15 on a quick mini valet. Then I got it back to work, and the lads from Dents were there, popping some dents out of some cars in the forecourt. So I asked them to have a go at this. If you remember, there was quite an obvious prominent dent on that offside wing. Anyway, the lads from Dents have popped it right out. They've done a really good job. After that, Mike the aircon guy was there gassing some cars in the forecourt, so I asked him to gas this as well. I thought, again, if I'm going to spend a lot of time in this car, I may as well have nice cold aircon. Anyways, you can probably tell from my clammy face, the aircon didn't work. They did a pressure test and it was leaking. So sadly, I'm going to have to just roll down the windows every time it's 23 degrees like today. But that, ladies and gents, is about it. So this car owed me £750. I've spent, well, I'm not actually sure, I haven't totaled it yet. But happily, we're in my usual spot. What are the chances? We're right near my favourite famous little bin. So what I'm going to do is park up and I'll talk you through exactly what I've spent on this old Audi A3. I can't quite remember if I set myself a budget or not at the start of this video. I always seem to give myself a budget of 500 quid. No, I've definitely spent more than that. Anyway, we're nearly there. May as well roll down my window now and get some fresh air. Create a through draft. There's the bin, look. This'll do. Lovely stuff. It is quite a nice car, this, you know. Let me get my receipt. We've got the calculator out ready. So, £750 was the purchase price. The bill at my mechanics was, so it's had oil, oil filter, air filter, cabin filter, fuel filter, 2 front tyres, they were £120, free off rear caliper because that was sticking, and labour. So my total there at my mechanics was £332.94. The bill at Prestige Wheels was £288. Then I've got £15 for some number plates, £15 for a mini valet, £54 for the dent on the wing, and £20 to Jimmy the Magician. Yeah, this is substantially north of £500. I've almost spent the same again. My grand total is £1,474.94. So just shy of 1,500 quid. But still, I think you'll agree, it does look like an awful lot of car for £1,500. And hopefully if I get a year or 2 out of it, which I should do if I drive it sensibly, and nobody thrashes the life out of it. Oh, please refuel. You never know with a VW Audi. That could have been something horrendous, but it's just a fuel light. Yeah, if I drive it sensibly and continue to look after it, then I should get a couple of years out of it, shouldn't I? Worst case then, if the turbo blows or the cam belt snaps, I'll just scrap it and take my 250, 300 quid for it. So I can't really get too far wrong, can I? That's the plan. That's the plan. Always quite like it when I can justify keeping something. And I don't know why, but this just reminds me of like the old Mark IV Golf. They just drive really well. That 2-litre turbo diesel engine is a really good unit. So on that note, I think that's about it. Thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the link below. I forgot we've even got parking sensors and a tow bar. Don't think I'll be towing with it though, because the clutch is a little bit high anyway. So yeah, thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers guys. Adios.